Alrighty, we're going to be at Talladega today for the season finale of the Simverse NASCAR Heat season. Season 4 to be exact. Let's see how big of a field we got. It should be pretty small this time. Looks like we have six drivers that are gonna be in the field today. Um, I will be broadcasting today because we don't have anyone else, and I have a considerable lead in the points. Um, In the battle for second, though, we have Frazier and Finzo, 2 points away from each other. Finzo's up by two at 97 points with Frazier at 95. So whoever finishes in front today will probably take that second place for the season. I know Frazier is going to be looking to try and take out Finzo, to try and get those extra points, and so I guess we'll have to see what happens there. May have to strike him a few times depending on what happens. And now we're just gonna be waiting for the AOK to hop into the session and watch the race. Looks like the session is up now, and we're just waiting for all the drivers to make their way into the session before we jump into the race. Looks like we have almost the full field into the lobby now, so it shouldn't be too much longer. And now we should just be waiting for the countdown to finish and the drivers to hop into the loading screen as Talladega loads up. Hopefully they'll switch the track to Talladega first. Looks like the track is now Talladega, and hopefully that is a good sign.
Going.
Alrighty. All right, let's see this season finale here at Talladega and see what happens. All what hell breaks loose here today. Super speedway. It's a super speedway draft is going to be very important. So if the cars start to get spaced out, it's going to be if there's a group with two drivers or more, they will be the ones to pull away. Here we go. Green flag will drop here in a second. We'll be underway for the season finale. We are off now. Looks like Frazier's going to look to the inside, try and get past the 51 of Popcorn. Couldn't quite get there yet. J-Pen's moving up on Finzo, putting a block on him. Popcorn drops below the double yellow as Frazier comes up into Draggled, hits him. Looks like they were all able to keep it somewhat clean, though, as Chaotic will start to pull away here. Like I said, though, the draft is very important, so if he can't get any help, the rest of the field's just going to come up on him. Frazier, I think, is down way on the apron towards that inside wall. Don't know what happened to him. Looks like he's back up behind Draggled. Finzo got a little bit loose, was able to catch the car, though, as J-Pen comes up and hits Chaotic. Looks like Chaotic was able to keep running, though, so I won't strike him for that, as it didn't really cause too much of a problem. J-Pen's now looking to hunt down Popcorn and try and get that top spot from him. Chaotic scrapes the wall again and falls a little bit further behind. He's still in that draft, though, so he shouldn't have to worry about any problems. Finzo's trying to make his way through the field, taps it back at Draggle, was able to catch the car before it spins as he went onto the apron, though. Chaotic's now looking to get a run. It looks like he may get one here, as J-Pen and Popcorn are now side by side. See if we can get a view on them. They're going through 3 and 4. It looks like still side by side. Neither one of them able to get an inch on the other. Popcorn's now on J-Pen's back bumper, but coming off the corner, he was able to get right back alongside him again. Still side by side, wheel to wheel. J-Pen's starting to get a little bit of a lead on Popcorn. See what happens as they come off the banking. They're still side by side again. Neither one of them can get an inch here. Frazier's leading the backpack as Finzo and Chaotic have a little bit of contact. Not much of an issue between either of them as Finzo drops to last place. J-Pen was finally able to get ahead of Popcorn, and now Popcorn's going to have a run with this draft, though. Looks like he's actually going to take the time to push J-Pen and try and get a little bit farther ahead of that backpack. Popcorn now looks low, wasn't able to get by, so it looks like he's going to just resume pushing him. Still stuck bumper to bumper. Neither one of them is pulling away from each other, but Popcorn does look like he's trying to make a move around J-Pen. Chaotic seems to be pushing Draggold now, trying to catch back up with the lead pack. Finzo's kind of stuck on his own, and he may have gone off the track. Yeah, it looks like Finzo ended up losing the car, and he's now way back behind the rest of the field. Chaotic was able to catch back up with Chaotic and Frazier both were able to catch back up with J-Pen and Popcorn, as Draggled was also fell behind. Chaotic might be able to get some kind of run here, being behind all 3 cars, as he's going to stick behind Frazier, and J-Pen will come up with Frazier as well, leaving Popcorn on his own. Chaotic's now trying to go on the outside of Frazier. Frazier comes up to block him. Popcorn is sticking side by side with J-Pen once again, but this time Popcorn has the inside, while J-Pen's stuck on the outside. Frazier comes up and almost has contact with J-Pen, was able to keep it off his left rear quarter panel, though. Popcorn still has no help with a little bit of contact between him and J-Pen, as Chaotic is pushing Frazier, tried to push him through the middle of both of the cars. J-Pen's still stuck on the outside as Chaotic goes up into the wall. That may hurt him. He looks like he will still be able to keep in the draft, though. See if we've got anything going on in the back. Looks like Draggled and Finzo are still on their own, and they'll just be lapping on their own for a little while. Popcorn's on the inside of Frazier. Looks like J-Pen was able to clear him, and now Popcorn was able to clear Frazier. Chaotic's falling a little bit far behind. We'll see if he's able to catch back up with that pack. If not, he's going to be stuck on his own for the rest of the stage. Popcorn to the inside of J-Pen. He's got a run. He might be able to clear him down this straight, and he does. Popcorn now in the lead, as Frazier is sitting in 3rd place, with Chaotic behind him, Draggled farther back, and Finzo in last. J-Pen's going to make a look to the inside, gets blocked by Popcorn. And now he's going to make a look to the outside. Couldn't really get much of a run, though. Hops back into the draft, and he's looking for help from Frazier to get him up into the 2nd place, or into 1st. J-Pen dips below the double yellow, but didn't make any pass, so not really an issue with that, as he'll now just push Popcorn. Chaotic still struggling to get back up into the front field. He's probably around half a second behind them. Frazier's starting to look to the outside as Chaotic finally makes his way back up into the top three, and it's now battling for that third position as we can see Draggled exiting turn 2 now. Frazier looking to the outside. He's got help from Chaotic as they come back and follow the line. J-Pin now looking to the inside on Popcorn, trying to get that top spot again. He's got the inside line, and this is showing signs of that first battle where Popcorn was stuck on the outside for a good 2 laps with J-Pin on the inside. Chaotic's looking to help Popcorn as he hits the wall. Popcorn is now on his own and does not have any help as Frazier is pushing J-Pen ahead. And Popcorn has been cleared by both Frazier and J-Pen and drops down into third place. It does make me wonder, is J-Pen going to give Frazier the stage win if it comes to that? Because Frazier's just trailing by 2 points. So if he can get those stage wins, that would be huge going into the final stage. Chaotic seems to have been able to catch back up with the field again. Popcorn's now going to look to the outside on J-Pen. He clears him. Sorry, Frazier. Frazier drops down into fourth. As Popcorn is still running that outside on and Chaotix is now moving up into second place. He's going to try and make a move on J-Pen. Can't really get it done. J-Pen's making some nice blocks as Popcorn's got to run on the outside of Chaotic but loses it. Chaotic's just going to push J-Pen along here. They may try and run away. Frazier's kind of stuck out behind. He might be able to get some kind of run coming through turn 4 here. Frazier's now on the inside of Popcorn. Frazier was able to clear Popcorn though. Popcorn really needs to hop back into that draft and gain some time back on this group of 3 in front. Looks like Popcorn's going to try and run the middle line and try and gain some time that way. As Chaotic's kind of weaving in second place. J-Pen is still holding the lead as Chaotic is now in second place with Frazier behind him. Chaotic's giving J-Pen a little bit of a push. As J-Pen slides up into the middle lane, no one is able to capitalize on that. But Frazier's now looking low on Chaotic, but he gets blocked. Popcorn's now looking to the outside, still no help. As Chaotic and J-Pen's sort of run away from Frazier and Popcorn. J-Pen's now in the middle lane as he comes back down into the bottom lane. Chaotic is sticking right to J-Pen's bumper as J-Pen almost turns himself off of Chaotic's bumper, trying to make a block. All of them sticking in a straight line right now. Neither one of them is able to really make a move, as if they try to go to the outside, they lose all the draft and they have no help. Contact between Chaotic and Frazier. Frazier goes around. I will have to strike Chaotic for that one, as he just sent Frazier into the outside wall because he ended up hitting the apron and then came right back up. Chaotic's now trying to make a move back on J-Pen. See if he can get in front of him. With Popcorn lurking behind. Chaotic is now pushing J-Pen as he looks to the inside. Couldn't really get anywhere with it though. Popcorn's still trying to hold that draft and to see if he can get a run on these 2 in front. See if there's anything going on in the back here. Doesn't quite look like it. J-Pen and Chaotic and Popcorn will all jump into the pits here. Let's see how they come out. Probably for a fuel pit stop. I doubt it was for tires. Chaotic and J-Pen are going into the pit side by side. This could be interesting on the exit. See who wins this race off pit road, as Draggold is pulling off in front of them. And it also looks like J-Pen has been buried by Popcorn. And Popcorn will now shimmy his way into his pit box as J-Pen will rotate on nothing. You can see Finzo making it past the start-finish line. He seems to be just running on his own. I don't think he's made that pit stop yet because he hasn't gotten that damage fixed. Looks like Popcorn came out first, way ahead of J-Pen and Chaotic, but the two of them should be able to work together and catch back up to Popcorn. Looks like J-Pen was able to win the race off of pit road. Chaotic's coming up early. I'm gonna have to strike him again for that, as he has to wait till the back straight to merge onto the track. And as he does it again, this time it's basically at the back straight, but J-Pen seems to have hit the grass, and that may lose the draft for him. We'll see if Chaotic decides to wait up for him and let him gain that time back so that they can both catch Popcorn, who's now currently in the lead. Looks like Chaotic was going to wait for J-Pen, or he was just able to catch that draft and catch right back up to him. Let's see if the two of them can catch up to probably around 7 seconds to Popcorn. See if we can find out where he is on the track. Rachel, Finzo, both running on their own still. Draggled as well. Looks like Popcorn is catching up on Frazier, bit of lap traffic, so he may actually be able to get some help now as they enter turn 3 and 4. If Frazier can catch back up to Popcorn, Popcorn may be able to get some help, but Frazier has some damage, so we'll see what happens with that. J-Pen and Chaotic now entering turn 3. Chaotic in the lead. Sorry, in second place in the lead of this pack. J-Pen following him with Popcorn actually in the lead. Draggled is now running in front of Finzo. They may be able to work together and try and get what probably is a full lap back. The question is, will they want to work together because they don't have a very good relationship, to say the least. And it looks like they're going to stick as far away from each other as possible, as neither one of them wants to get wrecked by the other. Yeah, it looks like Frazier wasn't able to hook back onto the back of Popcorn as he exits turn 4. Let's see where J-Pen and Chaotic are. They haven't even entered turn 3. It looks like Popcorn may be able to run away with this stage here. Popcorn now exiting the tri-oval, as these two still haven't exited turn 4. Guess we'll check and see how many laps we got left in the stage. There's no way to tell. However, we do have another 78 laps left in the race. Alright, back to the racing. Looks like J-Pen is still stuck behind Chaotic. I wonder if he'll try and make a move towards the end of the stage. He can't be that far away from it. Popcorn's still running on his own. Frazier isn't that far behind him anymore, though. Guess we'll see if Popcorn decides to let up for Frazier, as Frazier is now over a lap down. J-Pen lost Chaotic a little bit, but was able to catch back up to him. Looks like J-Pen's sort of trying to make a look to the inside, but I don't think that's quite intentional. So they'll make their way down the backstretch and trying to enter turns 3 and 4 once again. Pinto and Draggold also not that far away from each other. Let's see what happens with them. I believe they're on the same lap. Sorry, I'm actually going to remove that that strike for Chaotic, as it's actually a pass-through, and I just didn't tell him. So we'll let that one slide for now because of my sheer incompetence. J-Pen and Chaotic now exiting turn 2. Let's find out where Popcorn is. He should be exiting turn 4 now. I don't think they're going to have enough time to catch up to him before the end of the stage. Unless Popcorn ends up making a mistake and ends up spinning out. He should be able to get the win for the stage here off of a strategy play. I believe he ended up not taking any tires. As that seems to make much more of a difference when you're in this game. Still second to bumper, J-Pen and Chaotic. I believe Fraser's actually the only car a lap down right now. Draggle does seem to have dropped a bit farther behind Finzo, but Finzo is now making his pit stop now. Draggle was able to now get back in front of him as Popcorn makes his way through the tri-oval. And down to the start-finish line now. J-Pen and Chaotic now starting to make some ground up. Not a lot, but it's a little bit. As they'll enter the tri-oval now. J-Pen dips below the double yellow, was able to save the car before it spins on him. J-Pen's trying to now get back to the bumper of Chaotic and try and push him along. As they do whatever they can to catch up to Popcorn before the end of the stage. Which, I'm going to be honest, we really need right now because these drivers are very spaced apart. These are the only two close together. Fraser's now below the double yellow. I wonder if he made another pit stop. It is now coming out of the pits. Finzo's out of the pits and now onto the back straight. Draggle Seal seems to be on his own. And Popcorn as well. Will be exiting turn 4, I believe now. Nope, exiting turn 2. As J-Pen and Chaotic make their way into turn 1. Still trying to do whatever they can and push each other along. I'm surprised that they haven't been able to catch up to Popcorn. Looks like Fraser and Draggle are Draggle's now starting to catch up to Fraser. Let's see what happens here if they'll want to work together. Popcorn not too far behind both of them. Draggle seems to be up into the wall. Didn't seem to cause too much of a problem though. So the two of them will make their way down the back straight. J-Pen's now looking to the inside of Chaotic. Ends up getting blocked off though. I think they're gonna try and work together again. Popcorn seems to be catching up to Draggle. He's running very consistent compared to him. Let's see where Fraser is in compared to Draggle. Draggle seems to be dropping a little bit farther behind him now. As Popcorn is now starting to try to catch up to Draggle. Let's see what happens there. If we can get to Popcorn, that is. There he is. Draggle goes to the wall. Was able to keep it off of it though. As Popcorn will definitely catch Draggle here. Let's see what happens between the two of them. Popcorn's gonna look to the outside. Not quite there yet. Stuck on the up by the wall. A little bit of contact between Popcorn and Draggle. Not much came out of it though, as Draggle will hop into the draft behind Popcorn and try and push him along. If these two can stick together, that will be it for the stage, and Popcorn, as long as he doesn't wreck, will absolutely have the stage win. Looks like Draggle may not be able to stick onto that draft though. I'm not really sure why. J-Pen looking on either side of Chaotic. Can't seem to find a gap. I can't tell if he's still working together with him or not, though. Let's see if Fraser waits up for Popcorn and see if the two of them can work together and gain some distance on the field. Although I think if Fraser gets passed again by Popcorn, he may be 2 laps down and out of this race. think Finso is kind of half a lap down right now. I'm not entirely sure. J-Pen and Chaotic now side by side. I think they're gonna. J-Pen looks like he's gonna enter the pits. Chaotic as well. Doesn't look like Chaotic got a speeding penalty, but looks like J-Pen ended up overslowing. So the two of them will make their way into the pits. Looks like the entire field except for Finzo and Frazier are currently in the pits, so maybe the two of them will be able to, maybe Frazier will be able to gain some ground again. Not have to worry about that going 2 laps down as much. See what happens here as he passes pit lane. I think he already made his second pit stop for the stage. Looks like he did. Not sure if Finzo has made his second pit stop yet. We'll keep an eye on him and see if he ends up making one. But he also took a pit stop later than the rest of the field, so he may even only have to take one. Chaotic now exiting the pits now. Hopefully he'll be able to stick below the racing surface this time. His Draggle still has some damage. Merges at the correct spot though. Looks like Popcorn and Frazier are together now. Popcorn a little bit farther behind Frazier. As J-Pen's now going to catch up to Chaotic, and the two of them will probably work together again. Looks like Chaotic followed the right line this time as he merged back onto the track. J-Pen should definitely be able to get a draft here, but Popcorn will also be able to get one on Frazier. Frazier probably got his lap back and is now 0 laps down unless he gets passed by Popcorn here. But I would imagine the two of them are going to work together and pull away from J-Pen and Chaotic, and it looks like that is going to be the case. Frazier definitely needs as many points as he can get right now, though. But it doesn't look like he'll be able to get the stage win. J-Pen and Chaotic are about halfway down the back straight. While Popcorn and Frazier have already exited turn 4. And I don't think that the duo between Chaotic and J-Pen are going to be able to catch up to Popcorn in time for the end of the stage as he looks to the outside of Frazier. Popcorn will run up by the wall with Frazier on the inside. Frazier was able to clear him through the corner. Popcorn may be able to get a run coming down the back straight here, though. Looks like he's going to take the liberty of just pushing Frazier instead. Never mind, he makes a look to the inside. Frazier on his outside now. Let's see what happens here. Frazier's taking the high line. Little bit of contact. Frazier came down into Popcorn there, so I won't strike either of them for that. But Popcorn now assumes the position in front of Frazier. Let's see if Frazier can catch a draft and catch back up to Popcorn. J-Pen and Chaotic still working together. Neither they haven't switched places or anything like that. We may have reached the end of the stage. Let's see what happens between J-Pen and Chaotic as they reach the exit of the tri-oval. Draggle drops below the yellow line. J-Pen couldn't quite get there in time. See if anyone else is still racing around the track. Looks like Finzo is the last one to make it to the line. Frazier should get his lap back here. And be back on the lead lap. As we have reached the end of stage 1. See if any of the positions get switched around. Let's see if there are any late pit stops. Man, I need commercials to run during this. Alrighty, looks like we're right at the restart again. Popcorn in the first position. Looks like J-Pen was able to get in front of Chaotic. with Finzo in 4th, Frazier in 5th, and Draggled in 6th. You're underway again, though. Finzo's going to make a look to the outside on J-Pen, making it 3 wide as Chaotic moves down below J-Pen, and Popcorn is able to clear the field. J-Pen comes up and blocks Finzo. No contact between the two of them. Chaotic's going to try and make a look to the outside of Popcorn now, as he'll slot in right behind him and give him a bit of a push. Draggle drops back a little bit as Finzo assumes 5th position behind J-Pen. As the top 4 are just nose to tail pushing each other along. Let's see if the Air Frog duo end up working together with each other. As J-Pen moves up into the high line before sliding back down, Finzo's trying to make a look on the outside of J-Pen. Couldn't quite get there yet. But Chaotic looks to the inside of Popcorn. Not there yet. Almost there, but Frazier, he's there now, and Frazier's going to try and split the two in the middle. J-Pen's going to look to help out Frazier and push him through. As contact between Chaotic and Frazier, but Frazier was able to save it. As they're going to try and go 3 wide on the bottom lane. J-Pen now looking to draft off of Chaotic with Frazier slotting in behind him. Popcorn on his own, getting no help. And Finzo's trying to draft off of Frazier as Frazier comes up. Doesn't quite hit Popcorn, almost does. Finzo's going to stick behind Frazier, try and get a draft off of him and push him up through the field. J-Pen now trying to hunt down Chaotic, making a look to the outside, couldn't quite get there yet. Finzo moves up into 3rd place while Frazier is stuck on the outside. Not sure what happened to Draggle. I think he ended up losing the draft, and that was kind of that, as Chaotic is now starting to pull away from the field. Popcorn is now looking to the inside of Frazier, was able to clear him, now trying to get past Finzo. Chaotic's lead is dwindling now that the rest of the field has a draft off of him. These 5 cars are nose to tail. Popcorn trying to make a look to the outside of Finzo, couldn't quite get there as Frazier now moves up behind J-Pen to try and get a draft. Finzo moves up as a block to Frazier, but is now stuck on the outside lane. Popcorn sticking to the inside as Finzo makes a look to the outside of him. As J-Pen's now looking to the outside of Chaotic. Let's see what happens between the two of them. J-Pen ends up slotting back in behind Chaotic as Finzo moves up into 3rd. Popcorn in 4th now, with Frazier in 5th, Draggled in 6th. J-Pen's going to look to the inside, gets blocked by Chaotic as Finzo's trying to see if he can get a run. Frazier's kind of getting stuck out behind the field as you can see Draggle off in the background exiting turn 2. Finzo's now looking to the outside of Frazier as he fell behind him. As Frazier moves up into 4th place, now Popcorn looking to the outside of J-Pen. Now Frazier, as he slid up the track and lost a bunch of speed. Finzo's going to swipe that position away from Popcorn, as he was still stuck on the outside with no draft. J-Pen now looking to the outside of Chaotic. He is there, loses that spot though because of that longer distance around the outside, but he may be able to get a run coming off of the high banking. He'll drop down below, get a little bit of an extra speed from that. See if he can draft off of Frazier and make a bit of a slingshot maneuver. Once again, they're nose to tail, single file all the way back. As Popcorn's losing a little bit of ground, as J-Pen now looks to the outside of Frazier. Sorry, Frazier is now on the outside of J-Pen, as J-Pen will slot into 2nd place, right behind Chaotic. Finzo now making a look to the inside of J-Pen. He'll take away that 2nd spot with Popcorn now on the inside of J-Pen. They'll stick side by side up in the top 4. As Frazier's kind of singled out. Popcorn gets a little bit loose, was able to save it. As J-Pen will close that gap right to his bumper and push him along. They're looking now 3 wide coming down the back straight. As J-Pen pushes Popcorn, but Finzo falls all the way back into 5th place. Chaotic now on his own on the inside. He seems to be losing some positions. Frazier gets pushed up into Finzo, but both of them are able to save the car. Now J-Pen looking to the inside of Popcorn. Chaotic on the apron. He saves that car. Finzo now trying to look to get a run on the inside line as he's lagging a little bit, looking sideways. J-Pen now looking to the inside of Popcorn. Couldn't quite get there. Looks like Chaotic may have fallen out of the draft. Can't even see him. There he is. Yeah, he's now out of this draft, and he may be out of the running for the second stage. J-Pen's right on that back bumper of Popcorn as he's getting pushed by Finzo, who now makes a look to the inside. Couldn't quite get there. Frazier is now pushing Finzo back up into the field. See if he tries to make a move. J-Pen now looking to the inside of Popcorn. He's there. As the three cars of J-Pen, Finzo, and Frazier will follow him down. No one is up at the top to help out Popcorn. He's just on his own, and he'll fall back into fourth because of that. Finzo now looking to the outside, gets blocked by J-Pen as J-Pen will chase him back down onto the bottom line. Finzo now on the outside of J-Pen. Couldn't quite get there yet as they come into turn 2. Frazier sticking to the bottom behind J-Pen with Popcorn behind him as Finzo now gets shuffled down to the back of the group. Popcorn to the inside, a little bit of contact between him and Frazier as he'll go below the double yellow. Let's see if he jumps ahead of Frazier. No, he does not, so there will be no penalty on that one. Frazier and J-Pen now pushing each other, trying to get away from the pack of two cars behind them, while Finzo and Popcorn are trying to catch back up to them. Looks like they were able to. Popcorn singled out once again on the outside as they're going to go 3 wide. Frazier, Finzo, contact with Finzo. He's in the dirt. Comes back up, doesn't hit Frazier. Good job on him for keeping it off of the other 2 cars above him. Frazier's going to close that gap up to J-Pen once again with Popcorn lurking behind and Finzo just a bit farther back. Popcorn's now up with J-Pen and Frazier. He's looking to the outside trying to get a run on both of them. Looks like he's side by side. This time he does have help with Finzo as Frazier will drop back and Popcorn will clear J-Pen and slot into the top spot once again. They're going to go single file once again as Finzo jumps down in front of Frazier just before the two of them make any contact as Finzo now looks to the outside, but he has no help. Frazier now closes that gap. Finzo left open as the two of them will go side by side. J-Pen now looking to the inside. Couldn't quite get there on Popcorn as he slots back down in front of him. Looks like Finzo is going to get shuffled down into fourth now. As J-Pen's going to keep trying to make some kind of move on Popcorn. Frazier now looking to the inside, no help there. As J-Pen gets loose, comes up and hits Frazier. And that sends Spinzo into a spin. As Frazier drops a little bit further behind the pack of 3 now. And it could just be down to a duel between J-Pen and Popcorn. Let's see what's going on in the back. Looks like Finzo gets caught up with a bunch of damage, and he may have to jump into the pits. Chaotic still on his own. Draggle making a pit stop. We might be hitting a pit window now. Looks like Frazier and Chaotic are now together, so they might be able to pit together and get some kind of catch up somewhat on J-Pen and Popcorn. And if the two of them are now battling, they may end up working together though. J-Pen looks and makes to push Popcorn as he goes to the inside. Looks like he is just going to stick behind him and push him along. Frazier's got a little bit of damage, and that may ruin his chances of being able to stick with Chaotic, as that damage is going to hurt his aerodynamics, and that is incredibly important at this track. Finzo is now in the pits, Draggle exiting them. Doesn't seem to have damage fixed, but that could also be this game being broken. J-Pen and Popcorn now side by side. Looks like they're not going to work together. J-Pen has that inside line, but Popcorn could get a run coming off of this banking as he slots in behind J-Pen. Now looking to the inside, Popcorn dips below the double yellow, pulls it back up though. Looks like they're going to be catching up to some lap traffic. It may be Finzo, I'm not entirely sure. As they'll be entering turn 3 now. Let's see, Frazier looks like he may be able to actually catch that draft of Chaotic. It looks like Finzo is the lap traffic, and no, sorry, it's straggled as the lap traffic as Popcorn and J-Pen will now jump into the pits. Popcorn breaks much later than J-Pen and may still be able to get away with it. Chaotic is going to follow them into the pits. He may be able to jump in with that pack as well. Frazier's coming in too. But the problem with that is Frazier's got some damage to fix. So we'll see what happens with them. Chaotic does not. Popcorn doesn't, and neither does J-Pen. Frazier is the only one with damage, and he's only getting into the pits now. So he will not be able to stick with that group. See what happens with Finzo. Oh, looks like Frazier actually did not get the pitting prompt. So he'll just be through the pits and jump back onto the track. J-Pen and Popcorn now pulling out of the pits now. See what happens with Chaotic. He'll come out right behind them. We'll see if they can catch into the draft and have a three-way battle again. This could be a big break for Chaotic here, as he may be able to catch back up with J-Pen and Popcorn and look for that stage win. Chaotic is definitely out of the running for the championship, as he's negative 35 points right now because of last week. But a stage win is a stage win, and you start in front for the final part. Enzo is now entering turn 2, sorry. Oh, and looks like Draggled is going to help out Chaotic a little bit. He may be able to push him up to J-Pen. If that can happen, then the two of them should be able to catch Popcorn, who's entering the trial now. Looks like Chaotic may be able to get that draft now. Looks like he has been able to. Maybe not. His car isn't too far behind J-Pen, so if he can get there it is. Now he should be able to have the draft. And maybe the two of them will be able to run down Popcorn this time. Chaotic definitely has the draft to J-Pen now. It's Draggle that's dropped behind it. And it seems like Draggle was the helping hand for Chaotic to catch up to J-Pen. Frazier's still stuck out on his own. I wonder if he's going to make that pit stop this time around, or if he already did. Still shows that he has a bit of damage. Chaotic now was able to jump in front of J-Pen. Let's see if J-Pen can get to Chaotic's bumper and push him along towards Popcorn, as they seem to be closing that gap. Popcorn shouldn't be too far ahead of these two now. He is not. So we may have a three-way battle for the rest of this stage. J-Pen looking to the outside, couldn't quite get there though. So the two of them make their way through the tribal, starting to catch up more and more on Popcorn. Question is though, will these two blow past Popcorn so fast that he's not able to catch the draft, or will he be able to stick in there? They're just going to keep pushing each other until they catch up to him. The duo of Chaotic and J-Pen has shown to be pretty good so far. For both the last, for stage 1 and stage 2. That gap is definitely closing to Popcorn. J-Pen gets a little bit loose, was able to catch the car though. Draggled now exiting the pits. Let's see if we can find Frazier. See if he's made that pit stop. Still don't know, but I would imagine he did the next lap around, but the damage still doesn't show as fixed, as these two are starting to get real close to Popcorn. They may be able to catch into his draft soon. They may be able to catch it now. As Frazier is a bit of a lap traffic entering turn 3 now. Sorry, entering turn 4 as he's quite a good distance ahead of Popcorn. These two almost up to Popcorn's back bumper now. They're going to stick to the inside and not try and catch the draft yet. Now, if these two just follow Popcorn's line, they will be able to catch his draft. They've been able to work together enough to catch right back up to Popcorn, as we're going to have a three-way battle now. J-Pen's still sitting behind Chaotic, letting him have that second position. As we get a little bit of lag now. Looks like that is cleared up. Popcorn not that far in front now. Chaotic should have that draft. Let's see if J-Pen is able to hang on to it as he's strapped a little bit far back. Chaotic right to Popcorn's back bumper now. Looks like J-Pen has been able to hold on to that draft and catch right back up to that top two. But it's dropped a little bit further back once again. We're now going to have a three-way battle for the lead here as we close in on Frazier, who's a bit of lap traffic. Let's see if he can hang on to the field. They're going to go three wide, but Popcorn is able to clear the two on his inside. They're going to go three wide again. J-Pen in the middle. Chaotic on the bottom. Popcorn up top. Chaotic falls behind on the inside. J-Pen clears the two of them, and Popcorn falls back down into third. Chaotic is just going to look to push J-Pen along here. They may be able to break away from Popcorn behind them. That'll be interesting to see if Popcorn ends up dropping out of this running for first place. As Frazier not too far in front of him, looks like Popcorn was able to catch right back up to them and is now looking to the outside of Chaotic. Looks like he's probably going to drop out behind him in the corner here. Looks like he does. Popcorn will jump right back into that draft. J-Pen slides up a little bit. Chaotic not able to capitalize that on the inside. Popcorn now looking to the outside of Chaotic. Not quite there anymore. Chaotic was able to clear Popcorn as he'll slot back into the draft and try and catch to close that gap once again. Frazier, the gap to Frazier, the lap traffic is closing by the second. The three of them are going to run single file now. They might stay that way until they get past Frazier to reduce the chance of a wreck. Popcorn looking slightly to the outside of Chaotic. Not much is going to come out of that. Chaotic straight to J-Pen's back bumper as Popcorn now makes a look to the outside of Chaotic. As they're now caught up to Frazier, let's see what happens with him. Popcorn now looking to the inside of Chaotic. He may be able to make this position stick this time around. No, as he falls back behind. Looks like they're gonna work together with Frazier and bring him into the mix now. Contact with Popcorn. Popcorn into the wall. Looks like he was able to save the car though, but it looks like he also has a bit of damage on that front hood. I didn't see what really ended up happening there, so I can't really assess any strikes. As Chaotic is just gonna follow J-Pen with Frazier on the outside. Looks like Frazier's damage is actually just a visual glitch, as he's sticking right with these two cars. Let's see what happens with Popcorn, if he'll be able to find a way back up into this lead pack, as he's now out of the draft. It may not be able to happen. Frazier now a lap down. We'll see if he's able to gain that back at the end of the stage, because it's a very hard thing to do here at a super speedway. Especially when the leaders are the guys that are in the front of the pack you're in. We'll see if Frazier makes a move to work with J-Pen and J-Pen only and leave Chaotic out to dry at some point. Especially as we get closer to the end of this to the end of the second stage. Second stage should probably be around should end around lap 47. Let's see what lap we're on now. 54, so I was completely wrong. We'll jump back into the race here. Japan still holding that top spot in front of Chaotic. I believe we have about 5 or so laps to go left in the stage. This the second stage should end around lap 60 instead of 47, or maybe not. Looks like the stage may be over now. Looks like Japan was able to edge out Chaotic. Popcorn finishing in third for the stage. Draggled in fifth with Finzo in fourth, Frazier in sixth. Not actually that big of a gap between Draggled and Finzo for this stage. As we will prepare to run the final stage. Drivers will make their pit stops now. Probably looking around 2 or 3 pit stops for this final stage. This will be bunched up together once again, heading into the final stage. So your running order right now is J-Pen, Chaotic, Popcorn, Finzo, Drago, Frazier. Frazier should be able to get his lap back as we enter the final stage, and the entire field should hopefully be on the lead lap. Alrighty, here we go. After pit stops, it's now looking like Chaotic, J-Pen, Popcorn, Drago, Frazier, and then Finzo in last place. We are underway for the final stage for the season finale here at Talladega. Chaotic gets out to an early lead in front of J-Pen, as Finzer goes all the way up to the top, 3 wide with Draggled and Frazier. Not a great idea if you ask me. Popcorn gets a little bit loose, is still able to hold on to that second position, as the cars are weaving all over the place right now. J-Pen looking to the outside of Popcorn, not quite able to get there yet, with Frazier following suit behind J-Pen. Draggle and Finzo now have to work together if they want to catch back up with the rest of the field. It should be an interesting time with the two of them. Finzo now looking to the inside of Draggle, doesn't seem to want to work with him. But if he doesn't, he may fall out of the draft and be out of this race, leaving Frazier in a good position to win or to take that second spot in the championship. Popcorn and Frazier now working together, as Popcorn now actually goes down to the inside, as we'll jump into single file. We'll see if Finzo still has that draft and will be able to catch up to the rest of the field. J-Pen now looking to the inside of Chaotic, as Chaotic goes up into the wall. Looks like he'll still be able to hold on to that draft, and if he doesn't, he'll find himself with Finzo, and the two of them may be able to work together and catch back up with the rest of the field. We'll go single file, and Popcorn will now look to the outside of Frazier and get that move done right as we enter turn 3. Frazier now looking to stick to that draft so that he doesn't fall out of it. Finzo and Chaotic now looking side by side with each other. Neither one of them has been able to get an inch. Never mind, Finzo has jumped in front of Chaotic. Frazier just hanging in that draft there, as Chaotic and Finzo really need to work together if they want to have any chance of catching back up to the rest of the field. As Popcorn now makes a look to the outside of Frazier and J-Pen, but he's got no help. J-Pen's got the help there, as Frazier will push him in front of Popcorn, and Frazier may be able to clear him as well. Looks like Finzo and Chaotic are now finally working together, as Chaotic is now on Finzo's bumper, as he ends up pushing him as Finzo gets pushed to the outside by Chaotic, and Chaotic will jump in front between that pair. Popcorn was able to jump to the inside of Frazier there and clear him, as he's now trying to get past J-Pen. Looks to the outside, and once again, no help, because it looks like, actually, never mind. Frazier's going to move up to the outside and give Popcorn some slight help with air. But Popcorn's in a really tough position right now because he's got to work against two teammates. Those two drivers are the Air Frog drivers, J-Pen and Frazier, in the 24 and the 2, both in green cars. Looks like Finzo ended up dropping behind, and now it's just Chaotic on his own. Let's find out where Finzo is. Finzo's in the pits, so I wonder if he ended up getting disconnected because I never saw him enter the pits. If he did, that may be it for that second spot in the championship. As long as Frazier sticks out of 5th position, he may have this second place. He's gonna look to the inside of Popcorn now. Finzo's now made his way out of the pit, so he did not disconnect. He'll be jumping out right in front of the pack of leaders. He may be able to hook on. Jumps up into the racing surface, but makes his way right back down, so I won't penalize him for that. As the leaders now make their way past Finzo, he's a lap down though. He needs to hope for a caution, because if that does not happen, his race is going to be over. As he's now in last place, Draggled in 5th, Chaotic in 4th, Frazier, Popcorn in 3rd, Frazier 2nd, J-Pen 1st. As the three of them will weave around, as Popcorn's still trying to make his way in front of the two Air Frog cars. Like I said, it's a very hard task because the two of them will stick bumper to bumper, making it very hard for Popcorn to get any kind of help. Let's see if Finzo is able to catch on to that draft. And if not, he may slow down and let Chaotic catch up and try and catch up that way. Popcorn on the outside of Frazier, almost a bit of contact between the two of them. Popcorn avoids it though as Frazier hits the apron and slides back up a little bit. As the three of them will fall single file once again. Coming through turns 3 and entering 4 now. Popcorn down below the double yellow line does not make any sort of pass though. Now he'll look to the outside line, see if he can get ahead that way. Doesn't look like he'll be able to. Popcorn kind of needs to hang back and see if he can get a big run on these two if he wants to make any sort of pass, because it's just that difficult to get past two cars pushing each other when you're on your own with no aero help. Looks like Finzo and Chaotic are both on their own. Neither one of them are able to help each other out. As Popcorn tries to make a look to the outside of Frazier, not quite there. Popcorn now looking to the outside once again, still couldn't get anything to work. Looking outside once again, still couldn't get there. He may be alongside Frazier now, but he's now stuck on the outside line, the slower line through these high banked corners. They'll only be faster when you come off of them and come off of that banking with a bunch more speed than the inside line. It's basically like you're driving down a hill. You pick up a speed a lot faster. The three of them are bumper to bumper pushing each other along. Literally no gap between the three of the cars. Frazier starting to look to the inside, or to the outside of J-Pen. That allows Popcorn to jump in on the bottom, and he'll slot into second place in front of Frazier. Now looking to the outside of J-Pen, he actually has help from Frazier. I'm not sure why he's not helping out J-Pen instead. Maybe just be able to, maybe trying to get draft from Popcorn, who was the closer car at the time, to try and catch back up a bit faster. As he'll be right on the bumper of Popcorn now, as the two of them will come down the back straight side by side. Frazier's dropping behind Popcorn into third place. Third place once again now that he got his lap back. See what's going on between Popcorn and Chaotic. Looks like the two of them are finally starting to work together, trying to catch back up with that group of 3 at the front of the field. See where they are. Exiting turn 4 now as the group of 3 are entering the tri-oval, catching up to Draggled, who is a bit of lap traffic. If Finzo can jump ahead of Draggled, he will no longer be in last place. So we'll see what happens with that. Draggled comes down onto Popcorn. slowing him down a lot. He'll lose the draft. Drag will lose a round behind that. I'm going to have to strike him for that one. Alrighty. Popcorn may be able to get a bit of help from Chaotic and Finzo, and with that bigger group of cars, they should be able to catch up to J-Pen and Frazier. As long as they decide to work together and instead of fighting, they should be able to catch up. Looks like that gap is starting to close between Finzo, Chaotic, and Popcorn. As Finzo and Chaotic have been sticking right bumper to bumper pretty well. But as we start to get further into the stage, we should be seeing some pit stops happening pretty soon. I believe you get around 13-ish laps of fuel, and it looks like those pit stops actually may be happening now. Never mind, it's just struggled heading into the pits after that contact with Popcorn. Looks like Popcorn was able to get through that pretty unscathed, and really no aero damage to him. Looks like Finzo has now caught up with Popcorn, with J-Pen and Frazier still sticking bumper to bumper. Frazier in second place, sticking behind J-Pen. Let's see what happens with Chaotic. He really needs to jump into that draft of Popcorn and Finzo if he wants to catch back up with the two of them. And that's really going to be the only way they can catch up to Frazier and J-Pen, who are a really good duo together. As you can see, they're sticking right bumper to bumper, as we're going to be seeing some pit stops right now. Hopefully neither one of them ends up speeding onto the pits. Looks like neither of them will. Finzo's going to keep going on his own because he made that earlier pit stop. And he'll get his lap back for a short amount of time, but he'll have to jump back into the pits. If I were him, I actually would have jumped into the pits at the same time as them to be able to stick with them. Looks like the top four cars are all heading into the pits right now. We'll see what happens on the exit. See if any cars decide to skip out on tires and jump in front. Draggle and Finzo are the only ones on track right now. Chaotic is technically in front, as Frazier will come out before J-Pen. Popcorn right behind them, not too far. Chaotic behind Popcorn, and that will be your running order. Frazier, J-Pen, Popcorn, and Chaotic. Popcorn and Chaotic will have to work together here, as that gap actually widens quite a lot between all four cars. Those pit stops were quite crucial, and having Frazier and J-Pen enter them just at the same time, that may be the way to do it. Finzo is now caught back up with the rest of the field, which should make things quite interesting, but he will have to take a pit stop in a few more laps. He kind of has to pray on a caution, hopefully coming out soon. Maybe he'll dump a few drivers and get that caution. Chaotic is now quite far behind the rest of the field, but he should have help from Finzo. As Popcorn catches up to J-Pen, the two of them will work together to catch back up with Frazier, who is now in the lead for one of the first times, maybe if not the first time this race. Yeah, it looks like Popcorn and J-Pen are going to take the liberty of sticking bumper to bumper to catch back up with that lead car. They should be able to do it quite soon, as they're not that far behind him. Finzo now has to make his pit stop, and he'll end up dropping a lap down once again. That leaves Chaotic all on his own. Looks like that first pit stop really ended up hurting Finzo. Looks like Popcorn and J-Pen were actually able to catch up to Frazier, and they'll be running as a trio once again. We got a car coming out of the pits. Looks like it's Finzo. Let's see where he jumps in with the rest of the field. He will be a lap down, though. As Popcorn's now going to look to the inside of J-Pen. A little bit of contact with them. J-Pen up into the wall. J-Pen may actually fall out of the draft here and may have to work with Chaotic to catch back up with that leading group of Frazier and Popcorn after that bit of contact between the two of them. As we seem to be catching up to Finzo as a bit of lap traffic. We'll see what happens with him. Like I said, he needs a caution if he wants to get his lap back. And let's just hope that he's in front of Draggle, because if he's not, I believe Draggle is also a lap down. And would steal that lucky dog away from Finzo. Freezer now able to put a little bit of distance on Popcorn as they close on Finzo even more now. See what's going on with J-Pen and Chaotic. Neither one of them seem to be working together yet, even though that duo is very powerful and would probably be able to catch up to that leading duo. With Frazier and Popcorn. That gap seems to be continuously closing to Finzo, while the gap between Frazier and Popcorn seems to be opening. Definitely no way J-Pen or Chaotic are able to get the draft off of the lead pack, and Chaotic unable to get the draft off of J-Pen as they're just too far behind. Like I said before, the gap is continuously closing every lap to Finzo. There's a bit of lap traffic. We'll see what happens with that. I guess, and like I said as well, that gap to Popcorn is continuously opening from Frazier. Really interesting how that's working out. I think Frazier's keeps on breaking the draft to Popcorn. And every once in a while, Popcorn gets that draft, picks up that draft once again. It looks like we have Finzo and Draggled going at it. Draggled with a bit of damage. It may just be a visual glitch, though. He may have gotten that fixed. And so now fully clear of Draggled, won't have to worry about him. J-Pen and Chaotic will probably now be working together quite soon. And with that big gap between Popcorn and Frazier and that draft keep on continuously breaking, the two of them may be able to catch up and battle for that top spot once again. Draggle seems to be weaving a little bit, comes up in front of Frazier. The two of them hit the wall. As Popcorn now looks to the inside of Frazier, not quite able to get there yet. It looks like he had to back out of the gas to avoid hitting Frazier. Draggle comes down onto the apron, back up in front of Popcorn, and it looks like Popcorn was able to survive that. Draggle has a bunch of damage now, and it looks like J-Pen and Chaotic, all three, J-Pen, Chaotic, and Draggle all get caught up in a wreck. Let's see if a caution comes out from that 3-car wreck. Looks like a caution will come out, and Finzo will get his wish granted, and he'll get his lap back because of Drago's antics once again. Looks like the whole field should hopefully be on the lead lap outside of Dragold, and we should have a 5-way battle for the lead. While this caution is going on, we'll go in and check what lap we're on. We are on lap 77 out of 94. We should be going green on lap 79 as we're starting to close in on the end of this race. As we go green, there should only be about 15 laps left in the race. Drivers should be start to make their push to try and get this win. Looks like I joined back in at a perfect time as we're going green now. Running orders, Frazier, Popcorn, J Pen, now Finzo as he makes a pass on Chaotic, who drops into fifth. Draggle down to the inside of Finzo. A little bit of contact there. They're going three wide with Popcorn on the outside. Contact with Chaotic. He's up into the wall as Draggle runs away once again, kind of unscathed. Popcorn has got a little bit of damage on his front right. As Chaotic will fall out of the draft and probably the running of this race. Popcorn's trying to catch a draft from Draggle. I wonder if that damage is going to hurt him too much, though. As we got a three-way battle between Frazier, J Pen, uh, and Finzo, respectively. Finzo now looks to the inside of J Pen, and he's there. Coming down the front straight into the tri-oval. Frazier on the outside, trying to give J Pen a little bit of help. Doesn't seem to work out as Finzo will make a move into the top spot with Frazier on the outside of him. Finzo now clears Frazier into turn one, with J Pen still trying to stick to the back bumper of Frazier. He may want to jump in front of him to try and hunt down Finzo. Finzo still seems to be pulling away a little bit as J Pen and Frazier aren't able to get together as Finzo will jump up in front of Frazier, seemingly giving him a little bit of help. Frazier's up by the wall, doesn't seem to quite hit it though. J-Pen's trying to push him. The two of them really do need to get to that inside and follow Finzo's draft as Popcorn seems to be catching up to them. If Popcorn can catch back up to this field, we should have a four-way battle for the lead. Let's see what happened to Draggle and Chaotic. Draggle's now into the pits. Chaotic is way too far back to get any sort of draft. Popcorn may be able to get it though. As J-Pen and Frazier really need to follow that bottom lane into Finzo's draft if they want to catch back up to him. Or J-Pen may even need to jump in front of Frazier as he seems to be struggling to hold on to that draft. Let's see if Popcorn has it yet. The two of them seem to be bumper to bumper, but J-Pen still seems to be struggling as he falls to the inside of Frazier, losing that draft. But now they should be caught in Finzo's draft as he tries to break it by moving to the outside lane this time. Popcorn seems to be close enough to finally get caught in that draft as Frazier closes the gap to Finzo. Those two, basically whoever finishes in front should be able to get the championship, or second place in the championship, excuse me. Although we may have a tie if Frazier finishes only one spot ahead of Finzo. We'll see what J-Pen does just in case that comes into fruition. Popcorn looks like he was able to catch back up with the field. It may just be a visual glitch once again with the damage on the front of his car, as all the cars will now make their way into the pits together. Let's see who comes out in front. Finzo going in front with Popcorn right behind him. Frazier right on Popcorn's back bumper, with J-Pen lagging a little bit behind in fourth place. Finzo now has a sizable lead to Popcorn as they enter pit lane, with Frazier seemingly having the AI take over terribly. Finzo's already out of the pits. Let's see if the rest of the field ends up taking tires. It looks like they will, and that could hurt Finzo a lot because the three of them will come out together while Finzo will just be on his own. J-Pen's fell a little bit behind entering the pits. Now it's Frazier and Popcorn in second and third, with Finzo in first, and J-Pen in fourth. Looks like Draggle and Chaotic have also made their way into the pits. Let's see if Frazier and Popcorn will work together to catch back up with Finzo. Pretty sizable gap between Popcorn and Frazier. They may not be able to catch the draft, but J-Pen is now closing the gap to Frazier. Frazier may be slowing down to allow J-Pen to catch up. Chaotic now making his way out of the pits in front of Finzo, who's still in the lead. Drago may have disconnected from this race as he's still in the pits. Popcorn still has a sizable gap to Frazier behind him, but the gap between Frazier and J-Pen seems to be closing. See where Finzo is compared to Popcorn and Frazier, who now have a draft together. Finzo seems to be entering the tri-oval with a huge gap over the second, third, and fourth place of Popcorn, Frazier, and J-Pen respectively. The trio of Popcorn, Frazier, and J-Pen now need to work together if they want to catch back up with Finzo. Frazier looks to the inside of Popcorn as Popcorn will get a little bit of help from J-Pen and get pushed along. J-Pen now looking to the inside of Popcorn, slots back up and back up the track and behind him to try and get that draft once again. Let's see if they've been able to catch up any ground to Finzo as they exit the tri-oval. Finzo's now going to be entering turns 3 and 4 there, with still a huge gap on the rest of the field. Looks like these three cars are just going to take the time to work together and do whatever they can to catch back up to Finzo. J-Pen and Frazier, bumper to bumper, neither one of them deciding to try and make a move on each other. So three of these cars really do need to work together. The better they can stick in each other's draft, the faster they're going to catch Finzo by the end of the race. If they can catch Finzo by the end of the race, we're going to take a look at how many laps we have left, as it's probably not that many. That is correct. We only have 6 laps to go. We'll see if Finzo has just crossed the line to make it 5. And that may not be enough time for them to catch back up to Finzo unless they decide to make a caution. Here we go. We have now loaded back into the race. Let's see where Finzo is. He's crossing the line now, it looks like. Yep. Should have 5 laps to go now, as this trio is doing whatever they can, but I don't think they're going to have enough time to catch up to Finzo. He may have this one in the bag unless there's a caution that comes out. Hint, hint, if you guys are watching this, cause of caution. Brazier's still sticking to J-Pen's bumper. Popcorn in the front of that group. If Finzo sticks in first place, he will have this second place from the championship in the bag without a doubt. Let's see where he is now. He's entering the tri-oval as the trio have now entered turn 4. On the exit of it now, they still have a ton of ground to make up to Finzo. Should be down to 3 laps to go now as these 3 cross the line. Frazier lagging behind a little bit, so let's see if he can catch back up into the draft and pull himself back up into this battle for second place. J-Pen right on Popcorn's bumper, trying to find a gap around him now, as they don't have enough time to catch up to Finzo. It's just going to turn into a battle between these 3. They're going to stick to the middle lane now. J-Pen not trying to find a way around. He may wait until the final lap. As we cross the line, we'll be down to 2 to go. J-Pen now looking to the inside, slots back in behind Popcorn as Frazier now catches up with the two of them. Looking to the inside, gets blocked by J-Pen. We're going to fall into a line once again. With J-Pen's kind of half looking to the inside of Popcorn. Fraser trying to get some kind of run to see if he can blow past both of them in one shot. J-Pen now looking to the inside. But slots back in. He may just wait until the final lap. And with that help from Frazier, due to them being on the same team, he may be able to get in front of Popcorn as they come up on lap traffic with Chaotic, who may end up jumping into the mix, and we'll see what happens with him. Finzo has crossed the line and we're down to 1 lap to go now for the final lap in the season. Season 4 of the Simverse NASCAR Cup. These three will battle it out right to the end as Frazier still is stuck behind J-Pen. J-Pen trying to find a way around Popcorn now. Frazier gets a little bit loose, slides up the track, Chaotic into the wall behind him. J-Pen's doing whatever he can to make a look around Popcorn. He's right on his bumper. Vince will make his way out of turn 4 and come to the line. And he will get a win in this final race due to some pit stop strategy. Congratulations to him. I believe this is the end of the race, unless there's another lap, which could make things quite interesting. Popcorn now has gained some ground on J-Pen and Frazier, who are now bumper to bumper as we come to the line. Looks like we may actually still have another lap to go. Looks like that is the case as Finza makes his way down the back straight. These three are going to battle it out right to the end as they're entering turn 3. And they'll make their way through 4. J-Pen's now looking to the inside. A little bit of contact between Popcorn and J-Pen. As we see Spinzo cross the line for what I can only imagine now is the final time around. Congratulations to him. J-Pen doing whatever he can to make a look around Popcorn. He's right on his bumper. Looks like Popcorn is going to be able to hold off J-Pen, though. Looks like I was wrong once again. It looks like we may still have another lap. I'm not really sure how that's even possible at this point. As J-Pen is still trying to make his way around Popcorn. They'll make their way into turn 3. Frazier lagging a little bit behind the two of them. Finza makes his way through the trioval for what has to be the final lap for the 3rd time. Congratulations to him for the 3rd time now. He will cross the line in presumably first. As these three are going to battle it out, Frazier gets sideways. He's now into the grass as J-Pen's trying to look to the inside of Popcorn. Couldn't quite get there. Looks like that was finally the end of the race. Yes, it was. Looks like your finishing order will be Finzo in first, followed by Popcorn in second, J-Pen in third, Frazier in fourth as he dove into the grass coming through the trioval, Chaotic in fifth, and Draggled in sixth. Looks like that will be the end of the race. Congratulations to Finzo for the win in this final race of the season. A double points race, and that will put him and that he will now hold his position in second in the championship standings. And I will thank you all for watching this race here today. A battle to the end for that second place spot. While Finzo made a smart strategy call, not taking any tires, and was able to just run away with it towards the end. Once again, I thank you all for watching today, and hopefully we'll see you back in some other streams.